I think we have one more question, Commissioner, for Representative Carmen. You're recognized.
We have fire marshal codes that we have to follow, and every school has it, every church has it, every public building, I think, falls under the fire marshal's codes, right?
And for schools, yes. Every educational occupancy, if you're talking about a church or another place of assembly, unless the place of assembly holds more than 300 people, we don't inspect it.
You don't inspect it, but there are certain guidelines they've still got to meet.
Right. There are fire codes that everybody should be meeting.
Exactly.
The catch is there a method of enforcement? Is there somebody checking to see that those guidelines are met?
Right, but if there's an incident of any kind, you're all going to go out and you're going to do an investigation. You're going to find somebody, or you're going to do something because they didn't meet the fire marshal's code. They didn't have a certain amount of doors. They didn't have clear access. A lot of OSHA requirements and all that. I mean, we've got a lot of things people have to follow out here, and just in your buildings.
Well, our enforcement ability is on the front end.
Right.
We have the ability not to approve plans if they don't comply.
Right.
We have the ability not to issue a certificate of compliance if the building doesn't comply. But after the fact, if it's not a building that we didn't deal with on the front end, and say a tragic fire occurred, we would not have any authority to fine anybody. We don't have that sort of authority.
That would be TASHA.
If it falls under that,
Right.
I'm not sure. That's not my bailiwick, so I'm not sure.
It would
what
definitely
their
fall
authority
under
is.
TASHA. Every I guess building out here, even if you're digging a ditch out here, it's going to, and if it caves in, it's going to fall under TASHA. But I guess my feeling is, and to the committee here, is that these people are not taking the homeschool children into some antiquated facility that don't have any sprinkler protection, or don't have any fire alarms, don't have any protection for, just like your churches. I mean, I know the church I go to, you may have some out of the way small little church out there that's not, but they're not going to get fire insurance on the building if it's not covered in some way. I mean, there's nobody going to insure your church for $3 million if you haven't got some kind of fire protection in it. It just don't happen. So, I hope that you will work with Representative Campbell and try to get what can work, and still let these kids have school. I mean, I think that's, everybody here wants these homeschoolers to have the ability to teach those kids in the way they want to teach them. But we want them to be safe. But I don't think we need to have the impression that there's no protection out there, unless it falls under the fire marshal's guidelines. So I hope y'all will work together and come up with a resolution that everybody can live with here. Have y'all been involved at all with this bill?
No, sir.
And it's been.
I haven't. I can't speak to it.
And it's been in the hopper since, I guess, when did you put this in? In January, so we've been talking here about 3.5 months. But anyway, I just wanted to give my feeling here.
Any other questions or discussion? While we're out of session, without objection, we'll go. You have someone you want to speak, or you want to? I mean, we're obviously not going to be able to do anything on your bill today.
I understand, but I've got someone from the Homeschool Association who'd like to speak to some of the points. And one thing I would like to say is these are inspected buildings. They're just not inspected for the standard of a school. But if I could.
Without objection, we'll stay out of session, and state your name for the record, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Claiborne Thornton. I'm president of the Tennessee Home Education Association.
And you're recognized.
Thank you, sir. We did have a meeting last year in which the Department of Commerce and Insurance was willing to have a couple of people come to, including one of the state fire marshals, where we were discussing this matter. There were several of the church-related schools or co-ops or tutorials that had been inspected and had been told that they may not continue meeting. At that time, then they made modifications to their schedule to comply with the definition of school, meeting fewer than 4 hours a day, meeting fewer than 12 hours a week, which in some instances was a significant inconvenience, because in one of the schools they have people that come for 100+ miles to school, and they like to have their day, do it all in one day to make it practical for them. So, but that we did make some modifications, and the fire marshal's office understood that we were trying to address this matter. We were trying to do this in an above-board way, and so they were willing to allow us to continue basically in hopes that we could come to a resolution of this matter. So we have had opportunity to meet with Commerce and Insurance, but have not had the pleasure of meeting with this lady yet. So we are certainly glad to do that in whatever way we can help Representative Campfield. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, we'll go back into session. Representative Campfield, sounds like you got a little work to do on your amendment.
No problem, and I had some other things I wanted to work on also, so.
Okay. Well, I'd suggest that you meet with the commissioner and obviously come out of the department and Sally just to kind of work out some of the
I'd be fine with it.
kinks, and we'll see you next week.